welcome to Art and Fashion with Dominique. I'm Dominique, and we're here with Shannon Clyne from Cakewalk Photography. Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming. So tell me a little bit about Cakewalk Photography. What do you do?
I am a portrait photographer. I do all kinds of portraits. I started out doing kids, and now I also do boudoir photography, so all kinds of portraits. It's my own business that I started in 2011, and yeah, I just do mostly newborns and kids and family portraits.
Okay, where did you get the name Cakewalk Photography from?
Actually, when I was living in Brooklyn when I started the business, and I wanted something that felt like a Coney Island type name, so I was just Googling or Wikipedia all different like games and rides that they used to have at Coney Island, and I found the Cakewalk somewhere in there, and I just liked the sound of it, and it also means easygoing. So I thought that would be a good name for my business because I like to keep my shoots, you know, informal and just fun as possible.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah. Now, when you were living in Brooklyn, you used to work at like a scrapbooking shop. Has that had any influence, or have any of your previous jobs and previous things that you've done before influenced your photography style?
Yes, so the store that I worked at, it was actually a portrait studio and a scrapbooking store.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I got my start in photography. I applied there because it was a scrapbooking store, and I'm big into scrapbooking. So that's why I started working there, and they had a portrait studio, and I had no experience whatsoever, and they just kind of like handed me a camera and started training me. So, okay. And that's how I got to learn how to work with kids. But yeah, it was a great place to work. It was a very artistic environment, and the scrapbooking and the art, because I taught classes when I was there, art and mixed media classes. So yeah, it was just a good place to work and keep the creative juices flowing.
Okay,
Yeah.
What kind of equipment do you use now?
I use Canon equipment. I'm a natural light photographer, so I mainly just use the sun and a reflector and my Canon camera, and that's it.
Okay, have you done any indoor photography with artificial lighting?
Yeah, I do have some experience. The studio where I worked was where I learned how to do studio lighting. And I do have a studio set up at home that I use for certain things that you wouldn't want to do outside, like boudoir photography, for example. Or I will do some shoots like in the winter. If I want to do like a newborn shoot, things like that, I'll use my indoor studio lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do you have any, is it mostly commissioned work that you do, or do you have any creative work that you do on your own?
Right now, I'm mainly doing commission work for clients who hire me to take pictures for their family, for them to hang up in their homes and to give to their family and loved ones. I'm starting to get into doing some of my own creative photography. I recently did a show at Ripe Art Gallery in Huntington, which is where I'm from. And so yeah, I'm trying to make time now that I'm like a couple years into my business, I'm trying to make time to do more of like personal photography, some fine artwork.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you said you did a lot of family portraits, and you've done some, have you done weddings?
I've never done a wedding.
Never done a wedding.
I might get into weddings eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes.
And you've done boudoir photography, yes?
Yeah, so...
What got you into the boudoir photography?
Well, actually, when I started my business, I had never even heard of boudoir photography. It wasn't until I started, you know, when I started my business, I started connecting with other photographers online on Facebook and social media. And that's when I sort of found out about boudoir photography, and from the first time I learned about it, I just loved the idea. It seemed like such a fun thing to do, just like basically play dress up and take fun pictures just to feel beautiful and no other reason. So yeah, that's how I got into it, and it's always fun.
And how have your clients responded? Do they feel beautiful? They love the pictures?
Yeah, I always get rave reviews. A lot of people will say, oh, I don't even like recognize myself. It's like a makeover type thing. It's really fun.
As far as your other photography, your family portraits and everything, you have a very distinct style to them. How have your customers reacted to your style in regards to the family photography?
Yeah, I usually get, you know, great reviews with that. I try to be a little different with my style. I try to bring something kind of whimsical or vintage inspired to every shoot. And I also try to make every shoot different. So I don't use the same props twice. Usually I try to like come up with new ideas. I talk to the family and find out what makes them unique, and then I try to bring something like that into their shoot to make it individual.
Okay, that's very nice to have it like very family based and very personal. That way it adds a little bit of a personal touch.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that you just exhibited at Ripe Art Gallery. Have you had any previous galleries that you've shown at? Are you exhibiting anywhere in the future? Are you doing any special events upcoming in the future?
I have never, it was my first time doing a show at an art gallery. I'm definitely looking forward to doing more of those. I thought it was really fun. And I, definitely want to get more into that. As far as stuff coming up, I have some family and some boudoir specials coming up for fall. This is my biggest season. A lot of people want to do fall family portraits and use the pictures either just for family pictures or also for like holiday cards. So I have, in October, I have 2 Halloween specials. One is for little kids. I'll do like just like little kids in their Halloween costumes, mini sessions. So sit them with like a box and a bunch of pumpkins. It's adorable, and it's fun. And then I have a Boudoir marathon coming up, which is a marathon is basically a bunch of short boudoir sessions that all take place in one day, and that way everybody gets together, and it's a little bit cheaper because it's just boom, 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 one right after the other. So we're doing this one as like a Halloween theme, and we're gonna have some lace masks, as you know, and just some fun Halloween props, and people might bring like some sexy Halloween costumes. So that's also gonna be in October. And then in November, I'm doing, for holiday shoots, I'm gonna do Christmas tree farm sessions, which is basically, there's a Christmas tree farm near, in Suffolk that we're gonna go to and just take some shots around the Christmas trees for really holiday cards and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, and when are the shoots and how do you book one?
To book any of the shoots, you can either call me at, my phone number is 315-529-8184, or you can email me, Shannon Clyne, CLYNE, @gmail.com.
Okay, and do you have a website or a Facebook where people can see your work?
Yep, I have both. If you want to check out my website, it's cakewalkphotography.com. And then if you want to look at my Facebook page, that's where more of my recent work is and where I post a lot of my specials that I'm running so that people can see it and share with their friends. That's just facebook.com/cakewalkphotography.
Now that you mentioned these special shoots that you've done between the boudoir shoot, the Christmas tree shoot, the Halloween shoot, what other shoots have you done in the past and what can we look forward to in the future?
I tend to do, as for kids photography, I'll do 2 mini session sets every year. Every spring I do like a spring themed mini sessions, and those are just for charity. Those are to raise money for the MS Society. My dad has MS, so I do this every year, and then I do the Walk for MS. And then every fall I do the Halloween mini sessions. And then other than that, I'll just like try to come up with new ideas, like something different every year.
Beach boudoir shoot.
Beach, yeah. We did
that was a lot of fun.
The outdoor beach boudoir. I'm trying to get more into outdoor boudoir because that's a lot of fun, and I love natural light. So.
I was just gonna say the lighting is something that you really like working with.
Yeah, the beach shoot was amazing. There was some really awesome lighting situations. That was cool.
Okay, great. And what inspires your props and your usage for props and things like that?
All kinds of stuff. Basically, I look for inspiration everywhere I go. Everything I see and everything I read, I'm always thinking about how can I create an image using things like any kind of props to just to make a new image. Yeah. And
have you done any commercial work in terms of photography for advertising, for clothing?
Well, so far the only commercial work that I've done has been for Paper Doll Vintage Boutique. All the Etsy, I do all the photography for your Etsy store. And I definitely really love fashion photography, and I definitely would like to get more into that. I would like to try to get into commercial children's photography, maybe some children's clothing lines and things like that. That's what I'm hoping to look
Yeah,
look
you've
into.
done great with our lookbooks and everything too, because you add such a different flavor and everything to it. And I think going in the direction of fashion and fashion photography would be something you could really do a lot with. You know, you've touched upon it, but I could see your work in like catalogs and
That's the goal.
doing things like that. So that would be really great. Are you available to be booked for things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to contact me, same email, same phone number as I said before. Yeah, and like the lookbooks, that was a really fun thing to do. Like, for example, the one we did with like art themed, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was really interesting. That was a great concept that you came up with.
I tried to do like different like famous paintings and things and incorporate the fashion into that for that themed lookbooks. Yeah, I like doing themed shoots.
Yeah, that way you have some consistency and it kind of creates like an entire body of
Like
work
a story
with what
almost,
you do. Yeah, exactly. In the next like 5 years, right now you do many site-specific shoots. Do you plan on opening a studio? Where do you plan on going with Cakewalk Photography?
Yeah, I would love to open up a home studio, but that depends on when I can get, you know, the right place. When I'm living in the right place and I finally have a place of my own and the space to create a studio, I'm definitely planning on building a home studio in the future. Yeah.
With your photography, do you do mostly digitally retouched pieces, or do you do a lot of like film itself, or is it mostly digital photography?
Right now, I'm doing all digital, and then all digital retouching. I have a couple of film cameras, and it's just a matter of finding the time to try to include that. I definitely want to start including some film shots in every shoot that I do in the future.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Have you played around with that a bit yet?
A little bit, not on my professional shoots, but you know, in my personal photography, I'll play around with. And I like the medium format cameras like Holga's and stuff like that. The vintage look.
What differences do you find between shooting on like film and shooting digitally?
Well, I've never really shot film professionally. It's kind of scary because you have to use the light meters and things like that. I don't even have that equipment. I wouldn't know how to start using that. But film is very difficult because you have to know exactly how it's going to come out before you start shooting. You have to have a lot of practice. So yeah, it's a little scarier than digital. Digital, you just, you know, you can keep going and
you can kind of see what you got in front of you when you have it. So, okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. This is Shannon Clyne from Cakewalk Photography, and I'm Dominique again on Art and Fashion with Dominique, and I hope you guys tune in again next week on the Daily Blue. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you.